Alright, hey YouTube, Shinkenoh here with a review of the Power Rangers Samurai Megazord. So obviously, while we are taking a look at the Megazord, we need to take a look at the 5 individual components first. And I know I only showed 4 fingers on the screen, but my thumb counts, I swear. Now, to get that, we simply tear him apart. First, just take the ape, is what they call it in Samurai, the ape. And that's it for the ape. Just unfold it. You can have it go like that, or like that. You can't see any of that. So it really doesn't matter. Either or. Either crouching ape or drunk ape. It doesn't really matter. So set her over there. I'm calling them by their ranger genders. So take the turtle. Extend the little flippers out. Flipper 1, flipper 2. And fold that. The turtle can do one other thing that I will show later. Pop off the dragon. Extend him. Now, the helmet of the Samurai Megazord folds up and sticks into the dragon's body, just like that. And the sword sticks into his butt, just like that. Take the bear. Unfold his limbs. And you got the bear. And then the lion. Simply unfold his head, fold that up, bring his legs out of his body here. Flip these downward. And there you have the biggest of the bunch, the lion. Alright, so we are going to compare these to the Japanese version, however, I'm not going to be all biased and such, so we'll start with the lion. The lion is actually not all that bad. There is some paint missing, like the rest of the kanji logo down here should be red. His legs should probably be silver here and here. But other than that, nothing is too really missing from him. I like the molding changes they did only because the Japanese version, as you can see right here, requires you to split open this to bring out his legs, and it is easier just to have it right there. But this is because none of these can turn into their emblem modes. Like if we take a look at Shishi Origami here, he folds up like so into his emblem mode. Something that the Samurai Rangers actually like carry around and stuff. Unfortunately, the American toys don't have this functionality. You can't make this. The only one that does is the turtle. Like I said before, the turtle has something others don't. Fold the head in on the turtle and then fold these around like so, and you have the emblem mode for the turtle. And so she's the only one that can actually make her emblem mode. Mostly because her emblem mode was made from the arm functionality, basically. So, for the girls, you get your emblem mode out of pink, and no one else does. So that's a bit of a shame, and like I said, the silver is painted here, obviously, but this was a lot more expensive of a toy. So, yeah, I don't mind it really all that much. It looks pretty good. It's fairly solid. It doesn't really flop around at all, and pretty solid of a toy. We'll look at the dragon. This is a dragon, folks. The bear next. Really the same complaints I had with the lion. Lack of paint in these areas just make it look very bland. Very bland. And obviously they need to tell you that this is the right leg. And obviously none of these have any sort of gold chrome. It's just gold paint, but it is slightly metallic-y gold paint, so it's not terrible. But yeah, the lack of emblem mode again, I think kind of hurts him. But he isn't really too bad either. But he feels a lot cheaper with these hollowed out legs than the lion ends up feeling. But minor complaint, I think. The worst of the bunch is easily the dragon. And for those that wanted to see it, here's the Japanese release of the bear. And there's his emblem mode. Here's a look at the Japanese version of the dragon and how it appears on the show. It is very long, Eastern style Chinese dragon. It does retain the helmet functionality, but it doesn't have any sort of a sword functionality, obviously. However, just look at how much longer it is compared to the American dragon. We'll start at head, and the American dragon is already done. It's about the same length when you add in the tail, but considering the one in the show doesn't have that tail, yeah. I don't know, I just don't particularly like the American dragon all that much. I think the tail looks really weird with the sword, but it is nice that it does have storage capabilities. And then the head doesn't move, its jaw opens, but I don't know. Between the kanji not being painted and it just not being all that long, it just looks really goofy and is easily the worst of the bunch. The monkey isn't that bad. I rather like the monkey, actually. However, it is disappointing that the monkey doesn't make the emblem mode. The only thing they had to add with the monkey to make the emblem mode was a joint right there. And considering the joint is actually molded there, but just not a joint, that is a little bit disappointing. And the head paint details, I would have much rather it have been cast in black instead of gray. But again, minor complaints, and the kanji is at least painted, at least on the side that is presented as the arm. Nothing painted over here, which isn't that bad because Shinkenoh wasn't painted on that side either. And then the turtle, we already looked at the turtle. It can make the emblem mode, the nice kanji here. And head goes in there. Then unfold and fold, make the emblem mode. So the fact that this one can make the emblem mode actually gives it cool points. But I just feel like the lack of the emblem mode is really a negative for these toys, only because they do use it in the show, and it is actually a really cool feature about these Zords that isn't in other seasons, and I think the fact that they can't do that is a little bit disappointing. But really, they aren't too bad. Honestly, I mean, if you buy this set and pose them in their Zord forms, then I'm not stupid, but I think it's just a really bad choice, considering these don't really look all that good. So, to combine them, it isn't that hard. It's just as easy as it was taking them apart. Fold these legs in, bring that up, and fold these back. And you are done for the lion. Might as well flip out the head right there. One thing about the head is that it is one piece, as opposed to the Shinkenoh, which was two pieces, as you can see. So that is pretty nice that it doesn't really fall apart. Fold these in. Again, the lack of painted kanji is a little bit disappointing to me. Pull out that. Press the button right here to make him poop out the helmet. Fold and fold. These use the same peg connectors as you have to connect with the Mighty Morphin 2010 Megazord, and I will actually go ahead and show that once, just for kicks. And the monkey, just fold those around and connect those, and voila. Then put the helmet on, flip that open, put the sword in its hand, or you can sheath it right there, either or. And we are now back to the Samurai Megazord. As promised, I will show a combination with the MMPR Megazord here. So they use the same joints, so all you can really do is things like this. You can pop off these guys. Like that. And then you can dismantle him, and you could plug the folding Zords so you can have the Samurai MMPR Dino Mega thing. Samurai Dino Megazord. And then you can do the same thing with this one. You can plug these in here, So now the Lion Zord has Mastodon stuff coming out of it. And all of that fun stuffs. So, yeah, now you can make really random things like that if you really want to. Reminds me a little bit of the Joint Gatai series, except bigger and more detailed and less fun. But you can do it, so why the hell not? Alright, so let me start with the negatives. Really, in this mode, there isn't too many negatives. Obviously, there is still lack of paint. The kanji on these sides aren't painted at all. The sword is a flat gray piece. And while they did do a lot of good detailings on the actual blade, on both sides, actually, that's more than I can say about Shinkenoh. That has one side of his blade a hollow mess. The fact that this isn't painted at all is a little disappointing, but really I wasn't expecting it to, so it's not a huge deal. And the blade does have the turtle, the monkey, the bear, the dragon, and the lion all spewing out energy or fire or something on both sides, and I do think that is nice. I wish it could hold on a little bit better. It's holding it by the bottom of the grip, and that's really silly to me, but Shinkenoh has the same problem. And the only other complaint I have is the helmet. I feel like it's either too big or his head's too small. His head just kind of gets lost in there, and you can't really see it all that well. And that disappoints me a little bit. But other than that, I don't feel like this is that bad of a toy. It looks really bland from the back, but it's solid. It holds together well. It's a little bit hard to even move the joints. Obviously, it's a Megazord. All it can do is this, but most of them do. It does have a little bit of wrist articulation in the turtle here, but that's because of the way it transforms. But really, it's not all that bad. I like the new leg design here that was introduced with the MPR 2010 Megazord, because it makes them look a lot more streamlined, not as blocky, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic, so to speak. And I do like that, and I think it looks nice. It makes the dragon and the bear smaller, but I think the overall aesthetic ends up looking nice. Another thing I like over the Japanese version is the fact that the lion head, because the way they changed the transformations, doesn't need to fold in, so you don't have it folding in at all. The problem I had with Shinkenoh here is that every time you poke that, it would go in. So if it's not clipped all the way down and secured, it'll go and it'll fold in, and you'll hit it, and then its mouth will be open, and then you have to pull it back out. So that was a little bit of a disappointing thing for me with Shinkenoh. And obviously he does look very stubby here compared to the Samurai Megazord. So just real quick, here they are next to each other. So here is Shinkenoh, and here is the Samurai Megazord. As you can see, they are roughly the same height, and really, in terms of the actual mode, the only thing you're really losing with this release is the lack of a shield, and that will be covered by the Kabuto Zord, the Beetle Zord. And I don't know if that's why they took the shield out, or whether they just needed to conserve plastic costs, but I don't really know for sure why the reasoning behind that was. But really, for all of the crap that this toy gets, it isn't that bad. Shinkenoh is honestly rather expensive unless you can get a good snipe of an auction. And this guy's only $30. If you have coupons or gift cards, you can get it even cheaper. And he really isn't that bad. I actually kind of like him. If all you're doing is displaying, I think this is a great substitute. If you want a lot of playability, this guy kind of loses. He's only got the Zord mode and the Megazord mode. So you lose the emblem modes from Shinkenger. And I feel like that's a really bad decision on their part, only for the simple fact that it is used quite often in Power Rangers Samurai. If they got rid of the feature in Samurai, then obviously I could see why they did it. But they do use it quite a lot in Power Rangers Samurai, so I feel like as a kid, if you got the toy and it couldn't do what the one on the show does, I would have been a little bit disappointed as a kid. Kids today, I don't know if they care, but That's just how I feel on the subject. I think the lack of the emblem modes is really the only downside to this toy. Overall, I think it's actually a pretty great release. It's not any smaller. It just loses some features, and from the front, it really isn't that bad at all. So, if you're on the fence and you don't want to pay money out your butt to get a Shinkenoh, then I honestly recommend this guy. He's very easy to obtain. And like I said, sitting on a shelf, he really doesn't lose anything compared to Shinkenoh. So I honestly actually like it, and I honestly recommend it. So you can check out our review at shukenshinobi.com for all the latest updates on me and such like. And of course, you can discuss Samurai and everything else at our forums at RiotsRangersRumbles.com/forums. So take care and have a great one. Stay tuned for more. Bye.